think that this is something that I think has helped me um, navigate these uncertain times
Yeah.
is accepting and knowing and letting go of the notion that you're going to have it all figured out,
Mm.
and having the confidence to be vulnerable enough to let your teams know that you don't know it all, but
Love it.
at the same time having the confidence and conviction to lead them again where you still have that trust. They have that trust in you. You don't have to know it all. You can say, hey guys, we're going to figure this out. I can't. I mean, I'm saying something I actually say to my team quite often. I don't have the answer yet, but we're going to get through it together.
Right.
And it humanizes me, and it takes that pressure off of me that I don't have to put this act on. And at the end of the day, we talk about authenticity. People can see through us. If we walk in
Yes.
and pretend to know it all, it's this facade that we might think people believe us, but they're not going to. Right? We can't melt. We can't be this jello where they have a leader that isn't going to, just has no structure to them. But I think there is value and there is power in being able to say, hey, I don't quite know it, but I'm going to figure it out. We're going to do something together. I'll come back. That is something that I think has helped me grow and empower me to actually discover more, is letting the things go that I don't, and connecting myself with other things that fill the gap of my weak spots, because we all have them. And if we
Yeah.
think we're going to know every single piece, we're crazy. So do what I know well, and whatever those weak spots are, I don't need to fill them with me learning them. I can partner with somebody and help, join forces with that to get where I need to go. So I think that's probably the biggest lesson that I've taken in, that I think if I would have learned earlier in my career, someone shared with me, I think it would have helped me
Mm.
helped me get along without the bumps that I've had to go through.
Yeah, well, that's one of our learning lessons, those bumps, right? I'm a big fan of the work of Bernie Brown, who's talked about vulnerability and the
Mhm.
importance of vulnerability in leadership. And I think that sometimes there's a lot of myths that exist within the leadership world. We got to be extroverted, and we got to be able to stand on a stage and give great presentations and wow people and have charisma out, out the yin yang. Um, we also have this fallacy that we have to be great at everything. We have to be an expert. We have to be invulnerable, right? And I think understanding that we're leaders and we're human is really important aspect to do. Our people kind of understand that. When they see that, they resonate with it. Anik, how about you? What's a piece of advice you'd give the audience members here today?
Yeah, I'd echo something you said, which is for all the folks listening that either are leading folks or aspire to lead folks. It doesn't matter who you are, where you come from, what your education level is and what your personality type is. You can lead. You just have to do it in a different way than that's unique to yourself.
Yep.
So that's the first point that I'd make. And the second point is, I think that the key to that, no matter who you are, is going back to a theme that you raised earlier in this discussion, which is to meet people where they are. If you know who you are and you feel that you can lead, and you've figured out how to exercise that empathy muscle and know where people are coming from, you will lead, and people will follow you. And that's what I've learned. And especially when where people are coming from has multiplied by like 1,000 during the pandemic, right? So I knew where people were coming from before. They were all in the office. They all lived in Massachusetts, where we're based. And now they're all over the world, and they all have different things going on. And half of them might have dropped their kids off of school before they met me, and the other half are on their way to drop their kids off of school. And you have to account for all of those things as you lead now.
Yeah, I absolutely love that. I think that, we're in interesting times as we think about it. And I think what I'm learning a lot in expanding, there is no one definition of what a great leader is. Right? There's not, you can't say, here's a formula, here's the 5 things you do every day, and it's going to make you a great leader. Giving, rousing speeches is not necessarily the model. You have to find your way. And the thing I also think that is important is that we're all leaders. And sometimes we think of ourselves as leaders because it's the title on our business card. And Monica, I think you were talking about this, the letters after your name, right? I believe that we're all leaders. We have every company that we have, every employee is a leader in some form or fashion. They may not lead all the time, but one of the things I did in my organization previous to this is that I brought leadership to every employee. So you joined my company within the first 90 days to 160 days, you went through a 2-day leadership workshop. And it didn't matter if you were the shipping and receiving clerk, the front desk receptionist, senior executive that just joined our staff, you went through this program. And the reason behind it was at moments that front desk receptionist, when a person walks into that front desk, they're now leading that engagement. When a client's calling because they can't find a package was shifted, you're leading that engagement. You have to act as a leader. So we all need to understand we all have moments that we lead, right? And that if we can become better leaders and more effective leaders, more intentional, we can actually act with more empathy, then we become more successful in the long run. And I think bringing that all together really helps us become successful in what we do.